greed, global truth. Shalom, Israel. It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. And last night, the ish hit the fan. It went down, y'all. The Lunar New Year ritual is what took place last night. Yeah. We're going to talk about what happened in the underbelly of the city of Atlanta when police protests turned violent. And we're also going to discuss 10 people getting eliminated, 10 people getting injured as well in Los Angeles in a Lunar New Year celebration. Oh yeah, the rituals are very real. See, over on this channel, we don't just cover the news. We break down the esoteric agenda behind everything that takes place. And we dig beneath the surface. We understand that everything that's aired on mainstream media has some sort of agenda. And they believe in order out of chaos. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play the news. I want y'all to go ahead and thumb the video up. I see people entering the chat. Veronica Matthews, Striking Truth, Lamar Booker, what's going on with all of y'all? Calvin, Carlito, salute, salute, salute. Now let's go into the news of what took place last night here where I reside, Atlanta. Peep this, y'all.
Now turning this morning's new developments from last night's protest in downtown Atlanta that started peacefully but quickly turned violent as the night progressed. Here are three things that you need to know right now about what happened last night. First, a police car was set on fire after an explosive was used by a protester, and that's according to Atlanta police, but no one was hurt. Second.
Now, off the break, let me say this. This definitely has an agenda. And the agenda would be to defund the police. Yes. It seems that they're trying to spin society out of control. Cultivate an environment of anarchy. The police seem to be overworked and underpaid, right? And then on top of that, with these protests turning violent, they about ready to bring in RoboCop. They about ready to bring in the Robo Dogs at this point. Because what they're trying to say is that our people can't even protest peacefully, which, let me say this off the break. I do not believe these are just ordinary Atlanta residents that are going to do this looting. I don't believe that, not one bit. I don't believe the people of Atlanta burning police cars and tearing up the streets. I don't know if this is Antifa. I don't know what type of agents they got on the scene. I don't know who these people are. But I do not believe these are the people of the city of Atlanta. Something in my spirit is telling me that this is not our people and that this right here has an agenda. Ever since this place became a blue state, things ain't been the same.
Multiple businesses in the area were damaged and had their windows smashed with bricks. Several arrests were made, according to Atlanta police, in response to the protest turning violent. And here is how some people who were there and saw it all happen in real time are feeling right now.
They were pulling up in U-Hauls, and they had the type of glass breaker that taps the window, and the glass just automatically shatters. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe that this was happening.
So they was pulling up in U-Haul vans. I mean, they say 6 people were arrested. I don't know if they're trying to give us some numerology using the number 6. Hopefully they discuss who was arrested behind this, and we can, get a face to these people, because it's hard for me to believe that these were some ordinary street guys. So they pull up in U-Haul vans. They got everything they needed to break into places, to just raise hell out here off a protest that started off to be peaceful. Real strange. Somebody said he looked like he lied. He could be He could be a crisis actor. The guy that said that could be a crisis actor. We don't know. Yeah, because listen, you got to think about this. In order to have U-Haul trucks, exactly, David Golden said it, it sounds very coordinated. Because you got to know what day you're going to go to get a U-Haul truck. Don't you have to call them in advance, ladies and gentlemen? Don't you have to call U-Haul in advance and schedule a time where you're going to, get a truck? Because the trucks may not be available. You understand? So you telling me people pulling up in U-Haul trucks, meaning they knew what day they was going to raise hell. That's crazy. Let us continue.
Here in America, it's almost like some third world country type stuff.
He said, I can't believe this happened in America. Almost like some third world country type stuff. Listen, America is a third world country. It's just decorated. America is like that dirty thought pocket that's dressed up with a whole lot of makeup on. But underneath all of that, it's looking rough out here. That's what America is. Thanks for the $10 contribution, Amari. I appreciate the support.
Eleven Alive's Karis Belger is downtown right now where this all...
See, this is all programming. Why is she standing by Wells Fargo Bank? Notice, listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's symbology all over this. Why is this woman standing by an ATM in Wells Fargo Bank? What's the purpose? What's going to happen with Wells Fargo? We already had an incident with Bank of America. Right now, with people still out of their money, there's people still running around. Will the banking system collapsing be part of the anarchy that's going to take place? See, this is programming 101, ladies and gentlemen. It's anarchy and chaos going on in the city of Atlanta. The news broadcast, the correspondent is standing in front of a Wells Fargo bank and ATM. Right now, Bank of America, you got a lot of customers, everybody who had transactions through Zelle, they have absolutely no funds in their bank. Are they trying to tell us that there's going to be chaos breaking free once these banks crash? Or am I digging just too deep here? Richie Rich, thanks for the $5 contribution. I appreciate the support. Somebody said, James King says, no, sir, I think you can see it very clearly. Yep, Floridian Talk says the banks are closing in the cities. What's going to happen is the money is not there. The Federal Reserve notes are no longer going to be in these banks. It's about to crash. It's about to get real out here. They're showing you on the news. Let us continue.
All happened just hours ago. And Karis, what are you seeing at the moment after the aftermath this morning in reaction to all of the events that happened last night from both sides of the conversation surrounding the future of that Atlanta training police type?
Well, as the sun is coming up, we're getting a clearer look at the damage, and we're hearing from people passing by just how unexpected it was. They never expected to see anything like this. If you take a look over my shoulder, you can see this boarded up window, but I want you to take a look at this ATM machine just over here. It's been hit multiple times, at least 3 you can see from the impact on that glass.
Wow. So somebody happened to put slugs in the ATM machine. It looked like it been hit with some slugs. Yo, they're telling you, I really feel like this is staged. I feel like they had certain people doing certain things. This is programming. Now, who in their right mind and a police protest is going to go to an ATM and bash on the screen, y'all? Just bash on the damn screen. It's like it's foreshadowing the death of the banking. It's literally foreshadowing it. I'm telling you, man, you can't make this stuff up. Real talk.
Completely destroyed. So is another machine as well. But I also want you to take a look at this footage from before things were boarded up. It gives a much clearer picture of the damage of the windows of the Wells Fargo smashed in before someone came to board them up. According to police, 3 businesses total had their windows damaged. This all happened after the initial demonstration. People we heard from say they were protesting against the building of the Atlanta Public Safety Facility, which some call Cop City.
I just find it hard to believe that people were protesting against them building a police training facility. This does not make sense. So they went out there to protest because they're against the city of Atlanta building a training facility for police. We hate the cops that much. That's what you're trying to tell us. We hate the cops that much that we don't want y'all to have training facilities. It's like they're telling us, they're trying to tell the people, they're trying to tell the world rather, that we don't want cops. We don't want cops in our environment. Defund them. Get rid of them. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't like the cops, right? Not saying every cop is bad. I have friends that are ex-police officers. There's some good cops out there, but as a whole, F the police. That's how I feel, right? That just is what it is. I feel like it's got to come a time where we learn how to interact with each other without police. We should be police in our own environment anyway. But the mindset of the people ain't ready for that. They understand that through the programming. The people ain't ready to police themselves. It'll be all hell break loose. Let's just be real about it. James King says Antifa was first in St. Louis burning down everything. The CIA hired these kids through their bloodline families. I would not doubt that, fam. Heidi, thank you for the $20 contribution. Says, as always, thank you for the content and being a true warrior of the Most High. Thank you so much, Heidi. I appreciate the support and encouraging words as well.
But also in memory of Manuel Duran, who was killed Wednesday during an interaction with law enforcement. Now, we also heard from people about what their next steps were after that initial demonstration. Here's what they told us.
So they say also a young man in Atlanta experienced a wrongful death in Atlanta this past Wednesday. And you know the crazy part, like, let me say this. Last night, I was actually in Atlanta. I was downtown Atlanta near this area. I was at Mango's getting me some Jamaican food. And I look up at the screen and they have TVs and they saying all this is happening like literally blocks from me. When I rode down the street, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see anything. Like, I didn't see nothing down there. I literally was out while all this was happening. Maybe, I don't know. It said it was live news coverage, but riding down the streets in the same vicinity, the same area, I didn't see anything happen. It was, the roads were clear. So I just don't know. I believe half of what I hear, I believe half of what I see and nothing that I hear. As far as I know, these Negroes at Tyler Perry Studio staging all this crap. As far as I know, they could be at Tyler Perry Studios just doing all of this and making all of this on some movie stuff, as far as I know. But it is what it is. Let's continue.
Continue organizing, boots on the ground, and they want us to be quiet, and we won't. So.
And as we know, things escalated later in the evening. In addition to the Wells Fargo, a Truist bank nearby also had its windows destroyed. And according to police,
they're foreshadowing people rebelling against the banks.
Protesters lit fireworks in front of a building that houses the Atlanta Police Foundation. At one point, as was mentioned, a police car was also set on fire. What led up to this and who completely is responsible is something police are currently looking into.
Investigations going to determine who we have under arrest that may cause that, and if there's someone that committed a criminal act that we currently do not have in custody. We're using all of our investigative resources to ensure we identify them and we bring them to justice.
Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, as well as Police Chief Shearbaum, both said that officers were able to, quote, restore order, but they are continuing to look into the events of last night and continue to look for any suspects that continue to be updated as we learn more about the story throughout the morning.
Thank you, Karen. And political figures are responding. Here's what Governor Kemp is saying right now in response to all of this. He says that violence and unlawful destruction of property are not acts of protest, and adds that they are crimes that will not be tolerated in Georgia and will be prosecuted fully, and goes on.
You notice how they say 6 people were arrested, but they never showed you the identity of these 6 people? For the life of me, I cannot find the identity of these 6 people. I'm going to look this up real quick. Y'all give me one moment. I want to see the 6 people arrested last night Atlanta protest. Why not show the people? Again, when you look it up, it doesn't give you no image of these people, no names. Same thing on Google. It gives you nothing, literally. It says 6 people arrested. You don't see who these people are. And you got to understand, it has to be some kind of cover up, because if you got 6 people in custody, you should know all you need to know, who orchestrated what and all of that, because you already know. If you ain't learned nothing but by Gunner and Young Thugger, these people, they snitching. When they get in there, they telling you who's who and what's what. I don't know, man. Real Talk says new breed cut that annoying me. Is the music loud, ladies and gentlemen? Because I got it down very low. Let me block this person. There's always a troll in here, but it is what it is. All right, let's continue.
To thank all the agencies involved last night that worked to keep the city's streets safe. And in a statement from Georgia Senator Ossoff, he says that although peaceful protest is a sacred constitutional right, violence is unacceptable, cannot be tolerated or permitted, and asks that it comes to a stop immediately. Now, more reactions are also continuing, pouring online from other agencies across the state, including from the GBI, Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr, and more. And also last night, here's a look at how people across the nation and even as far as across the Atlantic Ocean came together for vigils and demonstrations, which are also calling for stops to the streets of police training sites. Moving forward, it looks like this.
They're going to stop training sites. So listen, if people are rebelling against training sites, then we're not going to have no cops. Y'all, listen, you telling us that people are protesting for training sites. These protests are turning violent. Okay, you don't want no training sites? We'll just roll out RoboCop, RoboDog. Or we just don't send nobody to your community at all. Let all hell break loose. Think y'all about, people be hating, you know what I'm saying? People be hating, that's all. Yeah, I ain't worried about it though. Let's go.
It's just the beginning of vigils and demonstrations, warning the man who was shot and killed earlier last week at the future Atlanta police training site as the Atlanta Forest continues to post on Twitter about upcoming vigils and demonstrations planned nationwide, ranging from coast to coast.
Wow. Pecan Tan, thank you for the $10 contribution. It is highly appreciated. Thanks for supporting. Yo, this is crazy, right? And then on top of all of this, 10 people. Sorry about that. Let's close that. And then on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, 10 people. 10 in Los Angeles on a Lunar New Year festival, a celebration, were offed, sacrificed, in my opinion. Now, for those who don't know what the Lunar New Year is, it actually has pagan roots, a pagan origin to it. And I believe it was a sacrifice. The origin of the practice is the embolic Set Subban Lunar New Year. And it's pretty much from pagan origin, in which people would make sacrifices to a specific goddess in order to have great wealth and treasures in the upcoming year. And you telling me that 10 people in Los Angeles happen to get eliminated on that day. Let's go to the news, man. Let's decipher all of this. Let's go. Hold up real quick. Ten people eliminated in Lunar New Year mass shooting in Los Angeles.
A mass shooting in Monterey Park, California, outside of Los Angeles. Police say at least 10 people were killed when a shooter opened fire during a Lunar New Year celebration overnight. NBC's Steve Patterson is on the scene in Monterey Park. Steve, what more can you tell us?
Willie, we've just been briefed by police. The current number is 10, and as you mentioned, 10 dead. On top of that, in addition, 10 wounded, transported to area trauma centers in various conditions ranging from stable to critical condition. Police continuing to investigate at this hour. They do say at this time a male suspect remains at large. They are asking anyone with any information from the public that leads to an arrest to please contact them, and telling everybody in this area, of course, to remain vigilant. Chaos rang out at about 10:22 when those first shots were fired. Police, of course, responding as quickly as possible. This is all troubling because, as we've been alluding to, this area, heavily Asian, this community, AAPI, heavily AAPI, and this was one of the largest Lunar New Year celebrations in all of Southern California, if not the country. Tens of thousands of people flooding the streets for a 2-day celebration. At this time, though, police can't ascribe motive.
They can't prescribe motive. This person was able to off 10 people. They believe it's a man. They don't know who this man is. They don't have a sketch artist to show you what he may look like. He's at large. He off 10 people. They don't have a motive. They don't have nothing. I believe this is a sacrifice. Let me read up a little bit on the Lunar New Year and what people would do. Symbolic is a Wiccan and pagan holiday that is sometimes referred to as Candlemas or Omelek, the celebration of Symbolic from the Celts. Symbolic symbolizes the halfway point between winter solstice, Yule, and a spring equinox. What did I tell you, brothers and sisters? I've been speaking this from the beginning when Halloween started. I told you these sacrifices are going to go on from the winter solstice all the way to spring equinox. I've repeated this several times, and it surely is happening. It surely is happening. Right, what type of ninja got to pull that off, right? Let me read a little bit more here, because there's a reason for everything. It goes on to say, the word symbolic means in the belly of the mother, because the seeds of spring are beginning to stir up in the belly of Mother Earth. So what we have right now is, for those who don't know, the Asians, they understand the new year is around springtime, not January 1st, right? That's actually very foolish. It has to, when it's new life, new plants, new vegetations, the animals are breeding and so forth, that would be the new year. But see, to get good tidings and riches, they would have to offer up the goddesses and gods sacrifices on their new year. And I believe that that's exactly what took place here in Los Angeles with these 10 people. All right, let's continue. The holiday also celebrates Bridget, the Celtic fire and fertility goddess. Hold on, let me go back a little bit. Let's get it. Let's go. I done skipped something. The word symbolic means in the belly of the mother, because the seed of spring are beginning to stir up in the mother earth. The term Omlek means Eve's milk. Around this time of year, many herd animals give birth to their first offspring of the year. It says, or are heavily pregnant. As a result, they are producing milk. This creation of life's milk is a part of the symbolic hope for spring. This holiday celebrates Bridget, the Celtic fire and fertility goddess. So that's what they're celebrating, Bridget. Yeah, the fire and fertility goddess. Over the years, Bridget was adopted by Christianity as Saint Bridget, or Brigid. Is the patron saint of Irish nuns, newborns, midwives, dairymaids, and cattle. The story of Saint Bridget and Goddess Bridget are very similar. Both are associated with milk, fire, the home, and the babies. To celebrate Imbolc, some modern day pagans focus on celebrating Bridget. They do this by setting up altars with the symbols of Bridget, like corn husk, dolls, white flowers, bowls of milk, candles, all kind of idols, right? So this is what they do. And also, they believe that it's a time of sacrifice. Let me add, there's actually a source on that as well. Right, Lunar New Year Eve, that's what they call it, where families come together, gather up, put decorations such as red lanterns, red spring couples, papers, cuttings of the New Year paintings. All these are associated with wishing a family good fortune for a token in the coming year. So let's make this clear, man. They sacrifice to their gods. Ain't no way somebody off 10 people and got away scot-free. This is madness.
I don't know if this was to remain vigilant. Chaos rang out at about 10:22 when those first shots were fired. Police, of course, responding as quickly as possible. This is all troubling because, as we've been alluding to, this area, heavily Asian, this community, AAPI, heavily AAPI, and this was one of the largest Lunar New Year celebrations in all of Southern California, if not the country. Tens of thousands of people flooding the streets for a 2-day celebration. At this time, though, police can't ascribe motive. They don't know if this was targeted or indiscriminate, or if this will lead to a hate crime investigation at some point. It is just too early, but police continue, of course, their investigation at this very early stage. We do expect another press conference in the next few hours, and as soon as we learn more, of course, Willie, we'll let you know. Back to you.
10 dead, 10 injured in another mass shooting in America, this time in Monterey Park, California. Steve Patterson, thanks so much. We, of course, will have much more on this story as we get new details.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't.
Insanity. But you know, I just cover the news, man. That's all I'm doing. You know, people can say that these are conspiracies or whatever they want to say, but y'all let it make sense. 10 people get offed out here and nobody gets caught. They know nothing. They telling you it may be a hate crime. No, it's a ritual. It's a sacrifice. Something just ain't looking right, man. They're setting the stage to send America into utter sheer chaos. That's why you must stay prayed up. If you around certain individuals, get away from these people who ain't got no spiritual clarity and levity. If you're not serving the Most High, then you could be at jeopardy in these places out here, man, because you just never know. And brothers and sisters, stay away from large crowds, large gatherings, because it seems like when a bunch of people get together at this point in time, you know what I'm saying, bodies hit the floor for some reason. Bodies seem to hit the floor for some reason. So stay around good people. Enjoy your life. Stay in the warmth. Stay in the comfort of like-minded individuals, and know what you celebrate too. You got some people, they just see a crowd of people and they want to be out there and about. Know what is being celebrated, because there's high levels of demonic activity taking place in certain areas. Yep. But it is what it is, man. Hopefully this particular stream gave you some insight on what's really taking place out here. I got much more content coming. Yeah, Mary Stewart said it. Keep your circle small out here. Keep your circle small and move a certain way. Because somebody say I stay in my house unless I'm running errands. I feel you. But hey, I love each and every one of y'all. Till next time, follow me on Patreon for exclusive content. Support my work at newbreed.love. I thank each and every one of y'all for coming through and showing y'all support. Y'all have a blessed day. Shalom and peace.